This is your source for underground content. The Dish Out.
This is Real Faction, back from the dead because you have not heard from me in a while, and this is it's been a while since I've done anything on the Dish Out. I am the founder and I am the host of today's interview with DJ Josh Elias and his production partner Mark. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these in the future, so stay tuned. So before we go on, tell us about yourself.
Again, my name's Josh Elias. I'm a producer.
Oh no, I've been saying it.
Oh, I know, man. Right off the bat, you did your best. It's okay.
I
you did a lot better than. It's all right. No, I'm a DJ and producer and musician from here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it's my production partner cohort, Mark Gruber. And I've been playing music now for since I was about 4 years old, and got into dance music about probably about 6 years ago, and loving it ever since.
Awesome.
Oh, and me. And Mark is what my mom calls me. In the DJ producing world, I'm Mohasky, for obvious reasons. That's the new moniker that I'm using these days for a little bit of a deeper, more minimal sound. I'm a band guy, similar to Josh, from many, many years. In New York City, I lived for a while and built a studio in Brooklyn and began to get into electronic stuff after I saw Sasha and Digweed at their famous residency at Twilo back in '98, something like that, and kind of really pushed me into the dance and EDM world. And EDM before EDM was EDM that it is today. Totally
wow.
Thing. Yeah. So, yeah. And been living overseas for about the past 10 years in Korea and Japan and Thailand, and had a weekly residency at a swanky lounge in Korea for a long time, and have kind of platformed my stuff off of that as well. And am now here in lovely Fort Wayne with my buddy, and we're just working on things together and get some new stuff out.
Wow. Now, that is a story.
I kicked your ass.
You did, man. You're a lot cooler.
But that house music, man, just really kind of struck a chord in me, and it always stuck with me. And I moved to New York to pursue my own musical ambitions in 2000, and 95, and was there for about 6 or 7 years, and bartended at night and pursued music during the day, and had a rock band, and built a studio in Brooklyn, and started producing electronic stuff on the side. I began to kind of connect with some DJs through the club that I was bartending at, and one of the guys began playing some of my tracks and sort of springboarded me into more on the production side of things. I flipped it all over and moved to Japan to be an English teacher, and started working on music projects over there, and rebuilt a little studio, and started DJing in Kobe, Japan, and a little club there. Then moved to Korea and established a residency in Seoul, South Korea. A city of 16 million people, so you can imagine they might have a pretty decent music scene there. Then I came back to Fort Wayne to go to graduate school, of all places, and they just happened to have the program that I was looking for. And the magic of Facebook connected me to Josh and some of the other guys in the scene who originally thought I was a narc police officer.
I still think you are.
Trying to weasel my way into these gigs, and everybody was quite suspicious because suddenly this guy showed up out of nowhere and was now playing some of the...
He's got a wire.
Yeah.
He does have a wire. He's probably wearing one right now.
And ever since then, Josh and I, we did, like you said, we did kind of connect on a musical level and a spiritual level and a physical level. I dig the beard. Don't tell my wife's sitting out there. Don't tell her.
He's jealous.
But we did kind of realize that we collaborate really well together. After playing in bands for so many years and I'm the dick in the band. I'm the guy who controls everything, who writes everything, and has trouble releasing the control of like the creative control of the project. So I figured out that I did better sitting in a room by myself. Yeah, so now we have a pretty good working thing. You know, he's really good at bringing me some really great ideas, and we kind of flesh them out in my studio. And I'm a little more acoustically set up. We're in my room right now, so it lends itself to a place where we can kind of hone things and polish things up. And sometimes he brings stuff and we work on it together. Sometimes he brings nothing and and we start from scratch. Sure. And I think that's the magic of it is. It's not about money. It's not about chicks or fame or any of that. It's just about
putting on good grooves.
It's just about enjoying this thumping subwoofer that you can't see under the table here. And here we are.
Get this guy a movie. Seriously, that's a life. That is exciting. All that stuff, man. I just imagine that just sounds like a lot of fun. You know, first you're talking about all these years of doing that, and then you go back and forth traveling the world. You become a teacher. It's like, and then your students ask you, "Hey, what did you do before this?" "Oh, I was a DJ."
Yeah,
They're like, "Yeah, cool, man."
As far as I know, as far as they knew, I lived at school and I slept under the desk. That was really about it. Teaching got me paid and paid the bills and got me flown over there and got me an apartment, but the music stuff was really the core reason why I was over there for the most part. What we really kind of connected on was our mutual distaste after a number of years for that big bang stuff, and I kind of really personally I feel that and I used to play the bang because that's what I needed to play in these big clubs overseas to get.
Yeah.
So finally, I lucked into a lounge gig, and really that allowed me to kind of tone it down a lot. I really wasn't responsible for blowing up a room or any of that, and it was really about providing people with a good groove to drink to bob their head to, and to get the girls wiggling a little bit. And that was where I found my niche, and that was really what I wanted to do. And I think the key to the production of that kind of stuff, honestly, there's one button on the computer keyboard that says delete. Start deleting stuff. We fill up tracks with all this amazing big bang and stuff. We find that once we're producing something, we start removing things. We'll pile all this stuff together, and really, it's just about getting rid of stuff and allowing the music to speak, and allowing the space and the rhythms to build into juxtaposition of several rhythm elements and things like that. And
progressive.
Yeah, and it's not so much about punching people in the gut with your grooves. It's about massaging, them gently and making people feel good, and really that was kind of where we found it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's for me. I mean, it started. I'm also a resident at a down tempo night here in Fort Wayne that a friend of mine got started several years ago, and just kind of fostering that into me. It really kind of built itself and getting really into deep house, like real deep house, not Beatport's deep house, which seems to be constantly changing on a quarterly basis, but. The real sexy stuff, stuff that, I mean, in my opinion, when people go out to a club, I mean, there's a time and a place for the banging stuff, that people can rage out to. I think it shows that, I mean, that shows itself on the dance floor at times, and it's not always, I mean, it is kind of a blessing and a curse with what we play and, what we produce, because, it's hard to find those crowds sometimes that understand and appreciate what you're doing, but when you get the right night and you get the right vibe going and you can get a good solid a group set for the evening, it definitely does show itself. So
let me make note. I just saying now to all my fans, anyone that's watching, don't get pregnant to my music. If you decide to get pregnant, do it to something else, not my music. Maybe his music, but not my music.
I mean, there's a few that come to mind for me personally, like on an electronic level. I think the artist Stimming from Berlin, from Germany, is definitely a major influence for me personally. I was turning to him a couple years ago. Just really weird, kind of obscure, like not always deep, but usually kind of deep sounds. I mean, a lot of stuff in Germany right now. There's a couple labels specifically that we're both really into. A label called Yippie out of Berlin. It's a great label. Just has a lot of really good, funky, kind of more subtle, bassy artists that I don't know. It's groove based. I guess that's the best way. I know I keep saying that, but that's the best thing I can think of.
Yeah, and I think we actually kind of both really dig dub, like reggae dub music, and I think
Yeah, I know Dub.
that's a kind of a really a core of being able to understand the groove element of subtlety and simplicity in groove, and it doesn't have to have 50 things going on in order to really be a wonderful, ear-catching groove, and soon you just find yourself just feeling it, and it's not a matter of power, it's a matter of subtlety, and I think that's kind of the key to the stuff that we're doing. And like he was saying, I don't know if artists in particular are inspiring. I don't really listen to that many other people. I don't really listen to other DJs that much anymore because I'm just kind of tired of it all. It's become so whitewashed and so the technology is so easily accessible. In some ways, that's fantastic. It really puts the power into a lot of guys' hands to be doing stuff and to be creative. Back in the day in New York in '95, you had to have 10 grand worth of gear, which I invested in, and I can do it all now on an iPad, and crate digging, quote unquote, because there's no crates anymore, can be very time consuming, when you've got such a plethora of a variety of stuff out there these days. And I'm inspired by guys who do something creative and somewhat unique and aren't tempted by the commercial stuff and are putting their energy and their time into more subtle and more creative kind of stuff like that, So those are the people that inspire me.
I'm very broad when it comes to music. Like I'll listen to heavy metal one second, then jazz the next. I'm just very bipolar when it comes to music. I've got a wide range. My only exceptions are just stuff that sounds too similar to each other. I usually like if it's in that genre, I like something very diverse, within
and
that.
Stuff with a bit of intelligence to it and something clever and cheeky about it, that makes you notice. And I think the stuff that you don't notice is just kind of noise, and it's just meant for other people, and it's not really about
elevator music. Are you releasing anything in the near future?
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, where are they out of?
Clientele Records. We just signed a new EP to them. It's out of it's owned by Angel Elias, who owns Slapjacks Records, and is based out of Indianapolis. He's in Berlin right now, but the Clientele Records pretty much is based out of Indy. We have a new EP coming out on there this winter, so definitely pretty excited to be a part of that label.
And in fact, that's some of the. In fact, I've released only one track under my new Mohasky name. Mohasky, look it up. And my previous moniker, Kameko, was probably 80 or 90, nearly 100 tracks. But the stylistic change, I kind of had no problem leaving that behind, and so I'm done with that. And but some of the labels that I was doing work for before, I do remixes here and there for them, but. I'm all about just kind of pursuing this new thing and kind of getting this thing going. And Josh and I have some stuff coming out soon. I think I'll have some solo stuff coming out as well. Is one of our tracks mine, or they're both ours?
On the EP, one's yours, and one's a joint collaboration now.
And we're polishing up probably 6 more that I'll start shopping one of these days soon as well.
All right, next question. Do you have any shows coming up around, let's say, mid-November, December, or anywhere around there?
We do. I'm a part of, my wife and I run a production company called Twin Flames Productions that is the main production company that throws a monthly event here in Fort Wayne called Second Saturday that happens on the second Saturday of every month. November 12th, the second Saturday of November, we have Sassmouth from Chicago. She's a Smart Bar resident and on some pretty great labels there in Chicago. Is going to be coming to Fort Wayne. It's going to be her headlining, and Mark and I giving her support on the local level. So that'll definitely be a great show. If anybody's in the Midwest area, definitely check that out. That's probably the biggest event that I have going on in the next couple months here.
I'm waiting for the phone to ring, and and really, it's been a bit of a transitional time for me. And I've had some problems with some hearing in my right ear after too many years of playing in clubs, so yeah, you know what that means. But the sound that I'm cultivating these days, I'm not going to get booked to play like big banging clubs anymore because I just don't play that stuff, and there aren't really that many events. Our style is very European, and unfortunately, that's not really what the kids around here are rocking out to these days. And you can tune into any of the European club stuff, and people are dancing and showing up in groves and giant festivals, and guys are playing slow, relaxed stuff of 118 to 120 BPM, and it's really different scene, and then here in the States where it's all big banging electro hard, shit that really gets the kids pumped up on their high energy kind of stuff, and I guess I'm just kind of past that stuff anymore. So I play sporadically now here and there, and I thought I was retired, but I guess I'm coming out to do this thing next month. But if Germany calls, I'm there. I get it. The different crowds over there are sort of the niche audience that sort of suits what I'm doing as well. And like Josh said, I get a lot of satisfaction out of just kind of creating something unique and sitting in our little comfy acoustic environment and not having drinks spilled on my gear and that kind of having.
I still spill stuff all over his.
Yeah, that's true.
But
but there are the pitfalls. It's not all glam and glory about playing gigs, and enough DJ morons are complaining on Twitter about being uncomfortable in an airport and shit like that. Put me there. I'll gladly take their place in a minute, and as would 1,000 other guys, But I think it's really. We're now to the phase where it's really about the production. It's about making something long-lasting as opposed to, just playing for an hour and a half and and that's it for the night. But they're all equally fun. As long as I'm doing that, I'm happy.
Yeah, I feel the same way because that's kind of what I do. I'm in the comfort of my home a little bit too much, but I'm getting a job here soon, so that'll change. But I just, I like sitting around just kind of composing music because what I like is I'm kind of really flavorful with my music because like I said, I do a lot of different stuff. I got like a whole spectrum of this kind of stuff. And about the thing earlier about spilling drinks on your equipment, if I spilled something over on my equipment, I'd be like, call up the company, whoever owns that soda, and be like, you better sponsor me because your drink just totally trashed my equipment. I think I should have some sort of thing for that. Because that actually would be me being a jerk, but
you can really go all over the place as far as what you're wanting to do production-wise, kind of just melding genres, throwing really obscure kind of sounds and into your tracks. So I mean, it's really nice to be able to have that liberation to just not be so much worried about, oh well, what is this? Is this deep house? Is this techno? Is this minimal? Whatever, I mean, you can have your sound, and probably more than likely, you're gonna kind of fit into something that's going on somewhere in the world. Someone else has a kind of along the lines of what you're doing, and it's gonna fit in semi-well. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice thing to have in today's production world as far as electronic music goes. A bit deep.
I think we'd call our music shit trance. Not yours, ours, of course.
Well, I only imagine.
This broadcast, is that okay?
I said fuck, so I mean,
it's okay. We got a disclaimer at the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's actually time for the final part of the interview. It's the lightning round, and basically what we do here, for anyone who doesn't know, anyone watching, we have done this new thing on one other time with our other interview that we did. I wasn't there, but it was pretty much Thoma's idea to do and Tom's to do a lightning round, basically where we ask these quick random questions, yes or no questions, and it'll be this really weird, off the handle stuff, kind of just you won't expect it. It's and then you basically say yes or no. It's kind of a quick question thing. So,
is there lightning involved?
You never know.
Unfortunately, no.
Yes or no.
Yes or no.
All right. No.
But maybe we'll change that. Maybe if you give us a wrong answer, maybe we'll just hit a button and we'll.
That would be cool.
Look into that.
Talk to your people.
All right. Starting with the first question to both of you: have you ever plucked the feathers off of a rooster?
No.
Have you ever hugged a tree?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, I have too, but the only thing is the bark kind of hurts, so don't tug too hard.
Oh, it's scruffy.
Oh, man.
You're supposed to wear clothes at least, though.
Yeah, I wasn't naked.
Have you ever won an Oscar?
Yes!
No.
No. I lied. No.
Oh, shame. Have you ever got caught singing an 80s hair metal song?
Many times.
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, that one's more realistic. I almost did, like, I could say close, not quite that, but I kind of was singing in that way, and then I got caught, and, like, someone was outside of the door, and I was taking a shower, and they were just kind of filming outside the door laughing, so that's
Well,
that.
You know, every rose does have its thorn.
Yes.
No.
And final,
Sad song.
and the final question is, have you ever been convicted of licking a doorknob illegally?
I can't remember.
In which state?
Anywhere?
Okay, well, illegally is the operative word there.
It's possible. Not that I
Yeah.
would remember something like that.
I'm going to say maybe not, maybe no.
It's a good possibility.
Yeah. That
Well, yeah,
was-
because remember, though, actually, I don't think it's illegal on Earth. According to SpongeBob, it's illegal to lick doorknobs on other planets, so, yeah.
The rules according to SpongeBob. I try to live by that, actually.
Well, I think that about wraps this weird interview up. I think we're all going to be a little bit traumatized after all this.
Should be.
And, but hey, I had fun, thank you guys, for being on the show. I've been Real Faction. This is, Josh, how do you say it?
Josh Elias.
Elias. I do not want to mess that up. And what's your
And Mohasky.
Mohasky.
This has been the Dish Out. Stay tuned for our upcoming reviews and interviews regarding music and cosplay, and you all have a wonderful evening.